emailed me or emailed me. I'm putting on fucking 45.
I mean, it's still used in corporate. It's not like email's dead. You
but
didn't leave me a
like
voicemail. Okay, how about that?
that's true. I should have left you a voicemail.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jesus.
Like, hey, I'm gonna record the podcast today at 6. I
Hey
hope to see you
Justin,
there.
how's it going, man? Let's we'll do the podcast at 6 today. I'll be ready to go. Yeah, fucking like, come on.
I also sent you some mail, about a letter. Like what?
Yeah,
You're
man.
old.
I hate voicemail.
No, I was at the range, so I was like, oh shit,
Mm.
yeah. So I had to hurry up and come back home because I found a range that I can shoot outdoors and move around and shit. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna get into it later, I guess, but I feel like PlayStation is putting their weight behind games that are not real. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the current trend of games, and it's not Western developers doing it. It's like mainly newer Eastern developers doing it.
Yeah, like Chinese,
Yeah,
Korean. Yeah.
yeah, they're doing that thing that we already went through like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like now that they're catching up and stuff like that as far as development, now they're doing that shit, and it's like I don't know if they don't know that we do know. We've been down this road before. I mean, like, cause look at what was it called? Days Gone, or not Days Gone, but the day before.
Yeah.
It's like everybody knew when that game came out, that's not a real game. And lo and behold, the
Yeah,
game's been
people
shut
fall
down.
for it though. They fell for it. I mean, people paid money for that game. Which is wild.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild shit. Wild shit, man. Well, all right. Well, we got some games that you're questionable on that we're gonna talk about today. So why don't we just jump right in? So hi everybody, welcome to the Players Take. This is episode 252. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined as always by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how was your Christmas?
It was actually pretty good. I mean, my Christmas is already pretty good. But I don't know. This one was really good. I got some stuff that I really wanted. I was able to upgrade my system to what I really wanted to upgrade it to instead of doing a mid hardware upgrade. I'm like,
Oh, was that a Christmas gift? That video card?
Yeah, that was a Christmas gift.
Ooh, I looked that up. That is not a cheap. That is not a cheap purchase.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we both went over our limits as far as like what we're gonna buy for each other and stuff like that. So
hey, sometimes you got to treat yourselves though.
Yeah, I put that on my list, but I didn't think she was gonna buy it, but she bought it. So that was pretty cool. And then yeah, my Christmas was always almost ruined by my computer because I was trying to upgrade my memory, and I already explained it in the chat, in the Discord. But like, I had a 1 terabyte SSD, M.2 SSD, and it was still using my old data because I transferred that from a 500 gigabyte old ass hard drive that I had on like my first build. So when I was transferring that, obviously I didn't really need to do anything but clone a drive and then just transfer the stuff over. So that's what I did. So now that I'm going to a 4 terabyte SSD, M.2 SSD, I was trying to transfer the data over, but I didn't know about MDR. I didn't know about that type of data. So it can only go up to 2 terabytes cloned, and then you have to change it to GPT to clone it over. So I had to change my data to GPT, and then clone it over to the 4 terabyte hard drive. So that's just like a thing for if anybody else is trying to clone their hard drive and stuff like that and transfer it over to a new hard drive. Unless you just want to install a new version of Windows and then transfer your shit over like that. I didn't really want to do that because I wanted all my settings and everything that I have to just stay the same. So that's why I just cloned my drive. But yeah, I was doing that, and then that took me like maybe 4 or 5. That took me actually like 8 hours to do that shit. It was a while for it to do it. So just to figure it out and do the actual cloning process. So I did like maybe 2 or 3 hours of research. I cloned it first, and then I tried to transfer it over, and then it wasn't booting. So then I tried it again, and it wasn't booting again. So now I had to do like an hour or two of research, and then once I figured out what to do, took another like couple hours, and then it was able to boot and everything like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, but everything's running smooth. The graphics card's running smooth. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't really have any games to like stress test it on, I guess, but like maybe
Mhm.
Cyberpunk. But I just want it just in case I do get a game that I can do stuff in, so I can fully run games at like 4K, 30 frames, or I think up to 60 frames if I'm not doing ray tracing. But
Yeah.
I do want to do ray tracing, so I'm probably just going to do 2K ray tracing and you know try to get 60 frames or 45 frames out of that. I knew Starfield, my old graphics card couldn't handle Starfield. Starfield can only run at 50 frames
Oh,
tops on it.
wow.
So yeah, so
This
now I
is
know.
this was 2K?
Yeah, 2K, 2K.
1440p?
Yep, 1440p,
Okay.
2K, 50 frames. So now I
Damn.
should be able to run it, at 60 frames, 2K, maybe
Okay.
45 frames on 4K. I'm not too sure yet.
Gotcha.
It wasn't. It's not. Even though they say it's optimized for AMD, I don't think it is. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of I'm in an interesting boat too with the PC. I haven't I've had the same computer for 4.5 years now, actually. Like, I just realized that the other day when you sent that picture. I was like, damn, I haven't upgraded my computer in a long time. Like, um, and I'm kind of, I mean, this thing has been, I've had no issues with this computer since I built it, and it's been running like a charm. I mean, it still runs perfectly. Like, I honestly don't have any problems with any games still on this thing. So I don't anticipate needing to upgrade it anytime soon, probably in the next couple of years. But I'm like, man, I'm the next one I may go a little crazy. I because I really want to do like a 4K, like a real 4K build, like buy a 4K monitor and actually be able to do like 60 FPS on it.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of waiting until graphics cards get to the point where they can do that reliably. And we're still not really there yet. So,
Yeah,
but no, that's fun. That's good though. No, I mean having a new man, having new PC parts like juicing up your rig is it's always feels good, you know.
yeah. I
Um,
thought about swapping up my case and everything, but I just got the case like a year and a half ago, and it's still
mhm.
fine. So um, I don't know. I just don't feel like taking everything out and putting it back in. I mean, you know how that goes.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
I just
Jesus. No, I do remember when I that is the one thing about this PC. When I did put it together, I had it built like semi built for like a month because almost more actually because the I had an issue with the coolant or the cooling thing that my dad had bought. It was not working. It wasn't cooling the CPU.
hmm.
And it took me a while to figure it out because I thought I had defective parts, and I did a lot of like returning and shipping back and forth with Amazon, like getting parts, like new parts, and ended up realizing that it was a setting on the fucking BIOS that was set
Oh.
on by default. Yeah. It was some Intel fucking like hyperthreading or something like that. I
Mm.
forget exactly what it was, but it was on by default and it was fucking exploding like the CPU temps. So that took a while. That took me forever to figure out, but after
Are you
that though, the
using
PC's
liquid
been really
cooling?
good. Yeah,
Are you,
liquid, yep.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just using regular air.
But it's
Yeah.
one of those all-in-one coolers.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
custom liquid. So,
Yeah. Because I
um
think Snakes has a custom liquid, or he did. I don't know. I don't know if
he
he still
tried
has
to
that.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that is like if you're going to do that, like dude, it's a project. Like it's a
Yeah.
serious project. So, no, I've just been using the all-in-one like one of the Corsair all-in-one coolers. I mean
Okay.
they work perfectly fine. It's just they're not great for like overclocking if you want to do like tons of overclocking. Um
Yeah, you know what? I don't really overclock too much, so I
Me
think
either. I
airflow
don't.
is
I
okay
really
for
don't.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I don't go overboard like that. So, so they usually are okay. But I will say the next rig, I may toy around with it. I don't know. It depends on how much money Amanda lets me spend on it. So, realistically, but cool, cool. Yeah, no, my Christmas was pretty good too. It was very family filled. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but had a good time with everybody. I did receive a firearm. I let you know, so
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah.
I'm in gun world now. So We got to go out shooting sometime so you can show me how to fucking hold a gun and load it and shit because I don't know how to do anything. No, I'll probably just I need to look up some YouTube vids and stuff. But I am kind of excited about that actually too. Um so yeah, that's good. Other than that, let's just get into the rigmarole here real quick. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to the playerstake01@gmail.com, and we will answer that on the show. So a little bit of housekeeping here, real quick. So this week is not going to be a normal episode. The one you're listening to right now, we're going to be going over this is our 2024 games preview that we're going to be doing today. And then next week is going to be our game of the year for 2023 discussion, or games of the year discussion, which as we've done before in the past, this is not we're not doing a strict ranking list or anything like that. We're not doing like 10 through 1 or anything like that where we have a definitive game of the year. It's just games that we enjoyed playing this year, whether they came out this year or not. But there will be plenty of games from 2023 on both of our lists, of course, that we will be talking about. But and then one other thing is, so Montrell, I know we didn't discuss this pre-show, so this is a little risky to bring up right here, but the Attack on Titan retrospective that we were talking about doing,
Mhm.
we still got to record that. And I'm down to do that after this recording, but we'll see how this episode goes first. If we're here for 4 hours talking about 2024 games, I don't know if we're doing that today. So that's coming at some point. I don't want to promise a date or anything like that. If we have time to do it today, we'll do it today, and that'll be up shortly, probably within the next week. But we still want to do it. We just got to find the right place to fit it in. So look forward to that as well. So. All right, Montreal. So again, this isn't a normal episode, so we're not going to do games we're playing or anything like that. So let's just jump right into the games preview because we got a fucking hefty list of games to talk about here. So I kind of think we should just get going. So I'll start. I have my games listed by release date that we know, and then there's kind of a point where we stop knowing stuff, and then we'll go from there. So a lot of the games, there is some overlap between our lists. Actually, there's a decent amount of overlap on our lists. So I think there's only one game you have that I don't. So yeah, let's get into this here. So the first game listed is Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, which is coming on January 18th. We both have this game on our list, and I mean, Mantra, how are you feeling about this game at this point? We've seen a lot of it. There's been a lot of advertising for it. It's more at the Game Awards that we saw. What's your temperature on this one at this point?
I'm definitely going to get it. It looks really good. It looks like they actually tried. They're trialing smaller scale games. I imagine Ubisoft's budget is not too big at the moment for a lot of
Yeah,
different games.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like how it's not the actual Prince of Persia itself. It's like one of his guardians or something of that nature.
Mhm.
And I actually like how it's a 2D side scroller, like the original Prince of Persia. So it's kind of paying homage to that as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I'm pretty excited about this game. Everything we've seen of it is been very striking to me. Like I think the movement, the animations, just the overall platforming, and then the combat as well. It just looks really snappy, which I'm very into. In a 2D game, especially, I don't like weird floaty 2D games that aren't tight,
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about this one. I mean, it's coming soon. We're gonna have it in like 3 weeks, so I don't know how much more there really is to say about this one. We'll certainly have thoughts, assuming we do both play it, for sure. But I will say the one other thing to note on this game is Ubisoft's being smart with this one too. They're pricing it at $50. It's $49.99. It is not going to
Ooh,
be a
okay.
$70. It's not going to be a $70 game. So I kind of like this. We're seeing this a little bit more with companies like they're not all going for that $70 price point, and I think it's doing some of their games a favor because this is not a game I feel like people are going to want to pay $70 for. And I think that's a good price point for it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else you want to say on that one?
No, it just looks like one of those smaller budget games that I think gaming needs.
Yeah.
more
Yep.
of, to be honest with you. So I would like to
Yep.
see more stuff like this.
Agreed. Okay, so next game we have, I have this one, is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So this game I've been talking about this game on the pod. Feels like for basically since we started at this point, dude.
Yep.
And it's I don't know how I feel about it at this point. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm over the moon excited about it because I'm
I
not.
don't know what it is. I see the
Yeah.
gameplay for it
Hmm.
and everything like that, but I still don't know what the game is. And that's why I'm not excited for it, because I just don't know. Is it a multiplayer game or is it a single player game? I
Okay,
don't
I've been
know.
doing research on this. I have been trying to figure this out. It seems that it is not a gotcha game. That's what the world out there seems to believe, and that's what it looks like. It's not a gotcha game.
Okay.
It is being positioned as a single player, basically like JRPG, action JRPG. So like almost like a Tales type game,
Okay.
with more like, I don't know, open world combat where you're not going into arenas to fight combat. Like combat's just happening out in the game world.
Yeah.
And if that's what it is, if that's truly what it ends up being, it's just a single player JRPG type game, then I'm actually pretty in on this. Like I have been afraid from the get go that this was a gotcha game, given the company it's coming from and all that. And so I don't know if that's what it is. I mean, does that sound appealing to you?
No. Like that was the problem, right? I
Yeah.
want to like this game. I actually been liking it. Even I liked the original iteration of the game. I
Hmm.
loved it. And then I actually like when they remade it again during development and they took
Hmm.
over. I was like, okay, the combat still looks solid. Doesn't look as solid as it did is when it wasn't, was it CyberConnect doing that?
No, I don't remember who the original dev was. I can look it up.
I think it was either Platinum Games or CyberConnect. I know it was one of those two guys.
Oh, it was
Somebody
Platinum. It was
it was
Platinum. You're
It was
right. It was
Platinum Games, right?
Platinum. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Platinum. Yep.
So yeah, I was really into the combat on both sides. But then more stuff started coming out, and I just wasn't sure if it was a single player game or if it was a multiplayer Monster Hunter clone type game, or then I started hearing rumors that it's a fucking gotcha game. So I was just like, I'm gonna, cool off on this game, and I'm just gonna wait till it comes out,
Hmm.
and I'll get off information once it drops. So
Yep. Yep.
that's where still at with this game right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see at this point. I will say, like, it looks solid. The most recent stuff they've shown of it, I mean, the game looks like it plays pretty well. So I am fairly excited about that. And there is multiplayer in it, but it seems more co-op focused, where you're kind of going on missions with other people, and that is appealing, certainly. Because there are, like, the game has like really big boss fight style, like Monster Hunter boss fight style fights in it. And that's kind of what I think you're going to be doing in multiplayer mainly. So
Okay.
so yeah, if that's the case, I mean, there could be some play here for me and you, and then maybe some other folks in our friend group to play this game too. So I don't know, we'll see. I mean, they're pricing it as a full price game. I believe it's at least $60 is what the price of it is. So it's not being positioned as a free to play game. It's being positioned as like a premium boxed experience. So given that, that gives me hope that we're correct. I can't believe we're
Don't
this close though, and it's still not clear what the game is.
don't ever say premium box experience, because now people are going to start using that term. If I hear that at the next Game Awards, somebody's definitely listening to our Stephanie podcast, and they're going to be like, "This is not
Yeah,
a free to play game. This is a
yeah,
premium box experience, $69.99." I'm like, "Oh my
yeah,
fucking god,
yeah.
Justin!"
No, you're right. It's a marketing. That's definitely a marketing term for sure. That I just said. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to like describe it. It's like it's not a free to play game. And
It's
it's
a
not.
premium box experience. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
No, you're right. No, you're totally right to like call me out for that, because that I just sounded like a fucking corporate marketer there, dude. I'm like the guy from EA or Ubisoft
Sounded
who's like,
like fucking Phil Spencer, bro. Games as a service. Shut up,
oh
man.
my god, yeah, bro, goddamn, dude, or fucking Jim Ryan getting out there. The Last of Us Part 3 is a premium boxed experience with the budget to match. Oh my god, fuck me. All right, let's move on. To our next premium box experience, which is Persona 3 Reload.
That
Grand Blue
should be the
Fantasy
name of this
Relink.
episode.
Yeah,
Premium box
premium.
experience.
I like that. That's a good title. Uh, so Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is February 1st. That's coming out on February 1st. The next day, February
Mhm.
2nd, is Persona 3 Reload, which is the next game I have written
I
here.
I actually forgot about this game. I am looking forward to this game,
Okay.
but I did
Well,
forget about it. So,
I have a question for you though, because this
mhm.
is this is a very Monster Hunter type franchise where they do a core release and then they like a year or two later there's like a enhanced version that comes with additional content. Are you thinking, well, A, do you think that's going to happen with this game? And B, um, if you think so, are you going to wait or are you going to play it right away?
I don't. Oops, I'm sorry. I don't think it's gonna be. I could be wrong. They could be fucking Persona 3 Reloaded next
Extra
magazine.
reloaded,
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I
premium box reloaded.
I I think I want to say this will probably be the all experience because this is a remake. This is not a newer game.
Correct.
Like
Right.
so this will be the Persona 4 R or the Persona 4G. This will be that hopefully, and that's what we're getting with
Well, yeah,
this
but this
game.
is more of a core remake, though. Like they're kind of building this game, like rebuilding this game. Where Persona 4 Golden was more of a port that was enhanced.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, that's not what this is. This is like more of a, or it's been positioned more as a full remake.
Yeah, I mean they may do a remake. If they, I mean, they may do extended version. If they do, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm just gonna play the original version, unless they do
Hmm.
something like really crazy. And I know they did something really crazy with Persona 5 R.
They did.
Um,
They added a
uh,
whole semester to, well, not a semester, but like a month or two to the game, which is significant.
yeah. So, I'm actually not even gonna replay my original save for that. I'm gonna buy Persona 5 R and just play that. Um,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still want to play Persona 3 just to see if I remember how good it was. I do remember liking the game a lot, but I don't remember a lot of the story beats because it's one of those games that kind of came and went for me. Um
Hmm.
uh but I do want to see if it still holds up to the golden standard that it held, you know, back
Yeah. Back in the
all these
PS2.
years. Yeah, all these years. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I don't know if I'm gonna play it right away. Like, dude, the beginning of this coming year, this keeps happening every year where like, February, March, April are just fucking stacked with really interesting and really cool games. And then you get behind right away, and then you're behind for the whole year and you never fucking catch up. That's happened to me the last like 3 years, with video games. So I'm expecting that to happen again here. And Persona 3, it's weird because I love Persona. Like Persona 4 and Persona 5 captured me, and just in the period of time I was playing those games, I was obsessed with them. It was like all I played. I didn't do anything else during those periods. And Persona 5, I think it was a couple years ago now when I played Persona 5 Royal. And dude, it was like I think I played that over the course of a month to a month and a half, and it was, dude, I literally did nothing else for that month and a half. I didn't play any other games. I didn't play multiplayer games with you guys. I wasn't doing it. It was just Persona. So given that, like, I know I'm gonna like Persona 3 Reload, like I'm not really worried about the game from a content standpoint, that I'm whether I'm gonna like it or not. It's just like, but knowing how I am with Persona, like I don't know if I want to dive into that game in the middle of all these releases with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming at the end of that same month. It's like, so this may be a game that I push into the summer ish area, and kind of dive into it more in like the June July period of time. So, but nope, certainly looks great. Not worried about it from a quality standpoint. So, all
Yeah.
right. Let's move on to the next game, which is that game I just mentioned, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is coming on February 29th. February is fucking stacked with games this coming year, man. I mean, where are we at, man? Have you even been watching trailers at this point? I'm kind of
I
blacking out on this game.
Nope. I blacked out on it.
Hmm.
I think when they showed the trailer back in June, they actually whenever they first showed gameplay like footage and stuff like not first showed gameplay footage, but they showed a lot of gameplay footage and then they showed like the release date. That's when I blacked out on it because I didn't really
Hmm.
care anymore after that.
Yeah.
And I know they showed it again a couple more awards since then, and I just kind of skipped past it or I just didn't watch it because it's like it's too much. It's not like, what else can we say about the game at this point? Like, what else can
Right.
you reveal without giving the entire story and all this other stuff like that? Like when they did the award show at the awards and they did the song, I didn't even listen to the music because I listened to the music, but I didn't watch it because I didn't want to see any spoilers. So I just didn't
Mm.
risk it at all. Um,
Same.
so because I don't, because I mean, you can say like, oh, well, it's spoilers, Montrell, blah 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 blah, but at the end of it's a remake. You should already know what's going to happen. But it's like, yeah, but at the end of Final Fantasy VII Part One, things changed that shouldn't have happened. That happened.
Significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, like
So
literally core elements of the story were completely different. So
yeah, exactly.
we're not getting the same story. Like that's obvious. And given that, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen in this game. Like we
Yeah.
kind of know the areas of the world that they might go to.
Hmm.
And we know certain characters are going to get pulled in, like Kate Sith and some of the other party members and stuff. But yeah, like we don't know what's going to happen though strictly. I mean, like some of the earlier trailers when we were still watching, I mean, they showed Cloud and Sephiroth walking around together at a certain point. So
Exactly.
that never happens in the original game, at least not in the
And then
present.
even Sephiroth had his haircut. He looked like a
Yeah.
completely different person.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and then at the end of Part One, someone is still alive at the end of Part One. Um,
That shouldn't have been.
that shouldn't have been alive. And then even in part two, we don't even know if that person's gonna die. One of the other people that normally
Well,
dies.
yeah. Yeah. We
We
all
don't,
know. We're not going to say it, but we all know who it is. Yeah. Right.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna say it just for people who haven't played it, but like we don't know if they're gonna die because like Nomura is just like throwing it up in the fucking air, like so we don't know. So I don't know, man.
Hmm.
All I do know one thing though. This year or next year, I'm not going to stress out about finishing games. If y'all this next year, I'm sorry, listeners, if y'all get the same game for the next month, that I'm playing, it is what it is. I'm not going to try to keep up with the fucking YouTubers and
Yeah.
all the latest and greatest stuff because I realize I don't have time to do that, and I'm not rich like they
Well,
are, so
and
they can do
yeah.
that.
Well, they're
you
also
know?
time rich, right? And we're not.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and that's the thing. I don't know why we both do this to ourselves because it's not like this show has like a wide reach. It's not like we're not.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have a huge audience, and people aren't pressuring us to like review games. But for some reason, I still feel compelled to like be caught up on current games. I never manage it. Trust me, I know that, but I still feel that way sometimes, and that actually puts me in a headspace where I end up not wanting to play anything because it's like analysis paralysis happens, and it's like I just got to stop doing that. Like, dude, seeing my PlayStation Wrap this year like really just kind of was like a slap in the face. Like, goddamn, dude, like
Same,
you
bro.
gotta
Yeah.
you gotta change the way you're playing games, dude, because you're just not playing enough. Like I'm getting really keyed on specific games and I'm playing them an insane amount. And I need to change that for this next year because there's a lot of games from this year that I still have to play and I want to play them. So I'm like trying to do that, and I need to like I want all these first few games that we're talking about here. Like I want to play all of them. Like there isn't one that I'm planning to really skip. So it's like I need to find the time to actually play them. So that I'm going to try to do better about that this next coming year too. So I feel the same way as you do.
Yeah, and
Um,
I will say another thing too that both of us keep getting caught up in. Like, we like to play games with our friends,
yeah.
but unfortunately, our friends don't really like to play single player games. So it's
Right.
like,
So they're getting on
the
every night and then we get
yeah,
sucked into that vortex,
yeah.
and it's like,
So I think
yeah,
I'm gonna limit like my gaming time with everybody to like two nights a week, and then every other day I'm like all the other days. If I'm not like studying or something, I'm playing a single player game
right.
because yeah, like I just think that's more healthier. And then
Yeah.
on the weekends I'll play, I'll game all night with y'all. But
No, and yeah,
probably
what's
during the week,
happening lately too is like we're getting so angry at each other and like, we're starting to get frustrated to like amongst each other, and it's like I think we're just playing too much.
yeah,
And like I think that's another thing, that's another reason we need to kind of tone that down a little bit. So yeah, no, this game looks. I mean, dude, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, with how high quality it was, I trust Nomura and his team to make this game just as good. But I don't know what to expect. I mean, the fact that there's going to be open world sections in this game, that is the one thing about it that I'm really curious about how they're handling that.
hmm
Because the first game was not open world. It was a very tight you can go a lot of different places, but they were kind of more like it was more corridor type stuff or somewhat semi open areas, but it wasn't like fully open world or anything like that. So that'll be an interesting aspect to see as well that I am certainly excited about. So, all right, let's move on to the next game. I think I don't think you're really interested in this one too much, but is Unicorn Overlord on March 8th. This is from Atlas and Vanillaware, and this is Vanillaware's next game after 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and I have to say, like, I'm a pretty big fan of Vanillaware. I have Odin Sphere and 13 Sentinels are two of my favorite games that I've ever played in my life. So, given that, it's a very strong endorsement from me. But I given that and what I've seen of the game and the trailers that they've shown so far, I am fucking over the moon excited about this game. A Vanillaware ogre battle style tactical RPG is like I couldn't tell you like a better game that they could fucking make for me. So I couldn't have come up with a better concept than that. So yeah, I'm fucking super excited about this game. I'm ready for it. March 8th. It's got that gorgeous Vanillaware art style. That's kind of become their signature that they're really well known for. But yeah, I mean, and it is kind of a pseudo ogre battle game, which is interesting because yeah, we haven't gotten a game like that. I mean, I'm sure there's been some in the indie scene, but like in this more well known area of like AA, AAA, we haven't
Mhm.
gotten that forever. You know, it's been probably 20 years at least. So that's really interesting to see that from a developer like Vanillaware. But Montreal, do you have any interest in this game?
Uh, you know what? I need to just fucking play their games, bro. Like I have Odin
Dude, just
Sphere.
play 13 Sentinels. Okay.
I have 13 Sentinels on
It's
my
30 to
on this.
40 hours probably total. It's probably more like 30. And it's excellent. It's pretty. There's not a lot of side tracking you can do really. It's pretty like straight line. Obviously, there's different ways you can go through the story, but you have to go through everything ultimately. So it takes the amount of time it takes. Is just you can do things in different orders. You know,
Mhm.
Odin Sphere is really good too. I actually think you would really like Odin Sphere as well. But obviously play the remake Life Throsir or whatever the fuck it's called. I can never say that. But that one is a little bit longer and um I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much you I think you would like it, but I'm not sure. So I'd say start with 13 Sentinels, and since you have it, yeah, for sure. I'd say play that. That'll give you an understanding of the way they kind of tell their stories, and the style of games they make. And that might get you a little more amped up for something like Unicorn Overlord.
You know, I'm definitely gonna give it a shot because I keep hearing nothing but good things about Vanillaware and all their games. Even people who I didn't think would like their games was like, "Yo, you gotta play. Have you played Odin Sphere, bro? I fucking love Odin Sphere." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, then you're not the only person I heard say that."
Mhm.
So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. It's like for me, it's like what's the other game? Hades. I just need to fucking play it. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
haven't had time to play it yet, but I know it's good. I just haven't had time to play it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if 13 Sentinels, I think it's only on PlayStation, I believe, but
I thought it was on the Switch too. I could have swore it was on the
I don't think
Switch.
it's on Switch. I was debating whether it was on PC or not. Hold on. 13
Yeah,
Sentinels.
it is on Switch. It's on the Switch.
Oh, okay. That'd be a great place to play it, actually. Um yeah, I think that'd be a great place to play it. For sure. Yeah, okay, Switch and PlayStation 4. That's interesting. So yeah, that'd be a good place to play it if you can get it cheap, for sure.
Okay.
But um yeah, I think it'd be a really good handheld game for sure. I mean, it is very story heavy, so if you like your story heavy games to be more on that like TV, sound bar or surround sound or whatever you have system, then you probably want to play it on PlayStation. But I mean, guess you could play it on Switch dock too. But if you're okay with that and just using headphones, like you'll probably get a good experience on handheld. So
Okay.
um, all right, moving on. We got 3 games on March 22nd that I want to talk about coming. So the first one is Dragon's Dogma 2 from Capcom. This game has been I feel like bubbling and like kind of building in terms of hype the last couple years, and I think we're at the point now where people are actually pretty excited about this game. I don't really know much about it though. I put it on my list, but I'm like I'm like really intrigued by it, you know? I just don't know
It's
much about Dragon's Dogma.
it's a sleeper game, and I can't describe it to you because you just have to fucking play it. It's
Mhm.
it's almost like, as far as like how it's rising in popularity, to me it's like the same thing Monster Hunter did. It was just like a really low key game, and then somebody actually played it. People actually played it, and they loved it. Interesting thing about Dragon's Dogma is it went free on PlayStation one month, and I remember when it went free, people were just like, "Yo, this game, Dragon's Dogma, is so crazy." The
Yeah.
combat is very interesting, so they have different builds you can do,
Mhm.
and not only can you do different builds for your character, you can also make these. I forgot what they call them in game, but they're essentially like um party members, NPCs. You can
Mm.
also make one, and then you can trade your NPC with other players
What the
who
fuck?
also made who also made other
What?
NPCs. I forgot what they
Okay.
call them in game or whatever, but yeah, you can make your own build like that, and you can buy, or you can go into this realm, and then
Mhm.
they'll and that's how you pretty much communicate with other players, is through the NPCs that you made, and then you guys can trade it, and then they can go on your adventure. So the game is essentially single player with like a multiplayer aspect tacked onto it.
Mhm.
You have four party members, and yeah, you just use the environment. You can take out dragons by like jumping on them, climbing on them, and hit them in the face and stuff like that. You can throw rocks at them. Uh, you can throw your allies if you have like a strength build or a tank build. You can throw your allies onto other people, and make them. It's a very unique game.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
never really seen before. Um, that they're doing with like the fantasy genre and everything like that. It's almost like, it's almost like Baldur's Gate, but like action, because you can do a
Yeah.
lot of different shit. Um,
Yeah, okay.
this the
Because that was
story is
kind of the vibe I was getting by it. Like, because there's some like realistic physics and stuff in this game too, right?
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The story's not as good for sure, but
Mhm.
your companions aren't fleshed out at all. It's just the game itself is just so fucking fun though. Like, it's a really fun game.
I mean, that's okay. I don't need every game to have like a fucking Emmy worthy story, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think if it has really dope customization and the combat's fun, and there's some cool, activities outside of that too for enhancing your party and whatever. I think that sounds really cool. So I don't know. I have my eye on this game for sure. Is there any like multiplayer aspect to it though beyond the trading? Can you play together at all?
No, not that I know of. No.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Well, um, I don't know. I guess we'll see. March 22nd for that one. That'll be an interesting game. And it's from Capcom, which is such an interesting company to be making a game like that for me. It's just I don't know. That's why it intrigues me, I guess, is because I wouldn't expect that type of game out of them. But so all right, moving on. The next game on March 22nd, it is Rise of the Ronin. This is from the Neo and Neo 2 team from Team Ninja. Montreal, this is the open world game that is going to be a PlayStation exclusive that we've been talking about for a couple of years that we were fucking over the moon hyped about when it first was announced. Where are you at with this one? Because I think I don't know. I'm a little bit more. I'm a little cooler on it, I think, than I was initially. The last couple trailers they've shown have gotten me almost dehyped me. Like I feel like the game looks worse than when it was originally showed.
Uh, I kind of went dark on it because I just don't want to. I guess I don't want to dehype myself. I will say I have been like, I just calmed down on it. I am still super excited for it. The combat looks really dope. Yeah, I'm not like as excited as I was before. Like you
Mhm.
said. So I don't know, man. Like, it's like I said, it's one of those weird games where it's like I just have to really go dark on it and play it, because I think they maybe scaled back the graphics a little bit, which is okay. I don't
Yeah.
fucking care about
I
that.
think they did. I think they definitely did. Yeah.
Um, and as long as the action that I saw there is still there, then I'm definitely gonna, buy it and play it. And that's really what I want to play it for, is for the action. I hope they haven't dumbed down the action, because
Mhm.
people may have thought their games were a little bit too hard or anything
I
like or
doubt it.
something.
They don't seem like the kind of team that would care, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. An open world game from them sounds interesting though too, because I did read some stuff about this too. Is like there's gonna be so the narrative is gonna let you make choices actually, and
Okay.
that will affect what happens in the world, and then some of the way the narrative moves. So there are like different factions you can side with and stuff, which is really interesting coming from a team like this. I don't feel any way about it, whether positive or negative. I'm kind of just like I want to see how it works out, I guess. It could be one of those things that's really negative and kind of brings the game down because it's like not really their strong suit. This isn't something they've really done before, but it could also be a really interesting twist to their normal formula, which their stories, their narratives, generally speaking, have been kind of blah. Like who cares? They're just set dressing for the great action combat. You know, and I wouldn't be opposed to Team Ninja kind of leveling up a little bit in that aspect, and making their narratives a little stronger. So,
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, their narrative has always been kind of weak,
mhm.
even since like Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I don't know. It's an exciting game though. You know, we'll certainly be having our eye on it. And if we play it, we will definitely cover that one on the show. All right, and the third game from March 22nd, is Princess Peach Showtime. So this was revealed a few months ago in a Nintendo Direct. And this is going to be the kind of Princess Peach platformer that Nintendo has been working on. And I don't know. I'm not like over the moon excited about this game. There's a very high chance that I don't even end up playing this game next year, because my Switch is kind of lamented recently. I literally played 2 games on it this past year, but I don't know. This game, I just wanted to shout this game out though because I do think it looks really cool, and I want to give Nintendo props for trying something a little different, in the
Yeah,
Mario universe. So
yeah. I think that's why I'm really interested in this game because I know it's gonna sell well just because of like who it's associated with
hmm
Mario and everything.
yep,
But I do want to give Nintendo props for actually trying something outside the norm, the 2D platforming thing. So I think
yeah.
it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because there's gonna be different worlds in the game, and Peach can like take abilities from each of those worlds, and kind of has like a kind of a move set depending on what ability she has, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting game. If I have time for it, I'll certainly fit it in. I'm sure it's not going to be very long. Like I would imagine it's going to be like most Mario games, like 20 hours or something like that. So that's short enough where I might be able to pick it up and give it a shot. So we'll see. All right. Next game is all right. So we go from March 22nd all the way to August 20th. Black Myth Wukong. This game has been out there in the world for a long time and has kind of been there's been a decent amount of hype behind it. I think people are pretty excited about this one. Montreal. My first question though, do you think it's actually going to come out on August 20th?
Yes. Yeah. This is one of
Okay.
the few games I think is actually real and it's going to come out. Am I hyped for it? Not since it was first announced like what 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
ago.
It's been a while, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was hyped for it then, but now I'm just like I played Sekiro and I'm like nothing can beat that game. So you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but
I,
if it's a 9 though, I mean that would be great, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm actually gonna give the other game a chance to Liza P. I heard, even though I've been
Yeah.
shitting on it all fucking year. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's a clone, a Dark Souls clone or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I heard people say they actually liked it, and if I like Sekiro, I should give this game a try. Like the way you talk about Sekiro is the way Liza P. Whatever. So I'm gonna give it a try. And if Black Myth Wukong brings something different to the formula,
Mhm.
which from the gameplay I've seen, it looks like it does, but it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just have to get more I have to see it a little bit more. Because I went dark in the game as well. I
Me
may
too.
just buy it just to play it and see if I like it or not. I wish GameFly was still a thing because I'll just fucking GameFly that
This would be a
thing.
good rental. Yeah,
Yeah.
Princess Peach would be a good rental too, for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the issue. This game and then that Princess Peach are like they're not their games I'm not really gonna want to spend full price on. you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're kind of games like this is probably one I won't play this coming year. Like it'll be the year after when it's cheaper, you know. All right. Anything else on that one?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So we're now into the more weirder section where games aren't necessarily confirmed with the specific date. You have one on your list though that I don't have, which is a Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, which you've got listed as Q1. Um
Yeah, and that's still up in the air because that studio is a part of Ukraine, and obviously we see what's going
mm,
on with Ukraine
oh,
right
that's
now.
right. It was delayed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was like
so it
super
was supposed to
delayed.
come out. It was supposed to come out a year ago, actually, a year and a half ago.
Hmm.
But that's when the war started. Um, so they said it was supposed to come out this year as well. But one of their developers died. He was in the war and died, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, the game has a ton of support. The first Stalker was, really good. It's a cult hit, and Stalker 2 has a ton of support, and I'm just at the point where I'm just like, y'all take y'all time because I know y'all are fighting way bigger battles than some fucking game
Yeah.
right now. So
Right.
yeah, but I am looking forward to this game. I really love Stalker 1. It was super super customized. The original game is good, but the mod support for the game is just out of this fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in my opinion, this started the whole like wasteland type deal Stalker's doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was just kind of revolutionary as far as that. And I feel like Stalker 2 is going to take everything, because they did say they were working closely with the modders and the community and everything. And I feel like they're gonna take everything that we've had from Stalker 1 over the last 10 years and put it into Stalker 2 and just make it a lot better. So I will gladly wait a couple more years if they need be, for this game
Mm-hmm.
to come
Yeah.
out.
Of course, makes sense. Yeah, not one I'm personally super interested in, but have heard really good things about that first game. So, all right, cool. All right, so we're getting into more nebulous territory now, where we kind of have windows for games and not strict release dates. So, these are games that. So this next group of games are games I think we are feeling good that will come out in 2024. But I'm going to start with Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, which is the next expansion coming to Final Fantasy 14. So, we always me and you both like kind of flirt with the idea of going back to Final Fantasy 14 every few months, and then we
Hmm.
never actually do it generally. And I at this point, with being like 6 months out from the next expansion, we don't have like a strict date. They said basically like 2024, but people are thinking summertime, somewhere in there. So let's assume it comes out in like July, early July or something like that, or late June. That is actually probably the perfect time for it, and might be a good opportunity to get back into this game for me, and actually like kind of dedicate myself to it a little bit more strictly at that point. So, and I'm also intrigued by what they're gonna do with the storyline post Endwalker. I have not played any of the patches post Endwalker's release, so I don't really know where they've taken the story since. So I may have already there may already be like a hint at kind of where they're going with it in that. But I probably will wait until Dawn Trail comes out or is close to coming out to kind of jump back in and do all that story stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, because the Warrior of Light arc ended, right?
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, yeah, right. And
Okay.
it was ended at the release of Endwalker.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
there's 5 patches of story after that I don't know. Well, that's usually how they do it. 5 patches of story. I don't know what they did after that. So I really have no idea. I haven't looked into it at all. I don't really want to know either. I'm intrigued by it. It's just like I gotta find an opportunity to like go in and play the game again. So but yeah, you never even got through Shadowbringers, right?
Yeah, I'm still stuck on Shadowbringers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Montrell was in a. See, every time we kept playing this game, we kept having the group play it with us, and like we were trying to like actually like play the game for real, like do dungeons and raids and stuff. and Montrell is always in this situation. Well, everybody but me and Jed actually, I think, has mostly been in the situation where they're like way behind on the story. So they're having to go through the main story quest, which is like super fucking long. And what I would recommend to you if you do decide to go back to Final Fantasy 14 is like don't pressure yourself to get to max level and like get through the main. Just enjoy the main story for what it is.
Mhm.
And however long that takes is however long that takes. Like I wouldn't pressure yourself to
Yeah,
try to
I,
catch
I
up.
think I think that was the problem. I was trying to catch up because I was enjoying. Only one I didn't like was Stormblood. I didn't like Stormblood.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you
even though
you ended up
it's not
skipping
that.
that too, right?
Yeah, because I just didn't like the story. The early game of that story was like really bad. I
Yeah.
know I know it got better
It
later
did.
on in the
Yeah,
story,
it
but
was still not. It wasn't great, but it did get better.
the early game of that was like really bad.
But
So I
Shadowbringers, oh god,
yeah, Shadowbringers is
chef's
good as fuck.
kiss, dude.
Yeah,
Chef's fucking
Shadowbringers is
kiss.
good as
Yeah.
fuck, man. That was
Oh,
a good ass story.
there's so many good moments in that fucking expansion.
But yeah, I have to finish it. But damn, I might play it because that Shadowbringers was good as fuck. When I went into Shadowbringers, I was like, holy shit, this is some good shit here.
Yeah, I don't know how
Um,
far you got. You were only like 72, right? Or
yeah,
71?
72, I think
So
72
you
or
were pretty
71.
early in. You were pretty
Yeah.
early in it. Okay, well that's good then. Yeah, I'd almost recommend going back, maybe watch the beginning of Shadowbringers again, just to get yourself back in the headspace of it, and then jump back
Mhm.
into it. I mean, you can do that anytime. Like you don't even. That's what I
Well,
would
I
almost
was
recommend. Do it when we're not playing it, so you don't feel
yeah.
any pressure at all. It's just you're doing it because you want to do it.
Well, I was just playing like the Dark Knight's fucking storyline was really fucking good, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a really good
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get into it because I am never averse to Final Fantasy 14. I used to even before I met y'all, I used to just randomly go back to it and play it for like a
Yeah.
couple months and then I'll
It's
drop
a
it.
really fun game, dude.
It is,
I don't
it is,
know.
man.
Like it feels so good to exist in that world too. Like I don't know why. I just like being in Final Fantasy 14. Like
Yeah,
just doing the stupid events and crafting and like you're just sitting there and you've got like five other people around you all crafting at the same time and it's just you're not interacting with each other at all, but you're all kind of existing there together. Like it's like I don't know. I just find the game really like it has really good vibes, I guess is what
I
I'll say.
and I
You
and
know?
I will say this, like, I understand why people don't like it. If you're like looking for that old school MMO, I think I didn't really like the old school MMO feel, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
I liked having to interact with people, and I can do that in Final Fantasy 14. I mean, everybody jokes and say, "Oh, it's a fucking kiddie ride, it's a theme park thing." And it's
Mhm.
like there are certain times where I like that. Like I just
I
I
just
just
want
want
to
to
be
go.
taken on a ride. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like,
like I
yeah,
just
and
I don't want to jump into every game and I have a mission, and my mission is to fucking, I gotta farm this and I gotta, do this dungeon and we gotta do this raid and we gotta do this and
I gotta go kill 50 wolves for two
yeah,
hours. And
yeah,
like, yeah, I mean, there's a place for that, and I do enjoy that element in MMOs, but I
exactly,
think the
yeah,
thing is, I think the thing with the knocking Final Fantasy 14, people who knock it probably haven't played it. Like, because it is the best theme park MMO I've ever played. It's the ride of the main story is so well done. It's indescribable. It's like World of Warcraft was the originator of the theme park MMO, and it has started doing it in the last decade or so very poorly. It's not good anymore. Like it
yeah.
stopped being good at a certain point. So that's where it became unappealing. But then Final Fantasy took up the mantle and has like kind of made it great again. So
Well, not
um
only that, I think the other aspect of like MMOs is like the graphics and animation, and I know I'm not a graphics snob, and I know I always harp on like bad graphics and stuff. Or I harp on like games wanting and gamers wanting good graphics all the time. I don't know. I just want the game to look and feel nice. And when I say like graphics and stuff like that, I mainly talk about like animations and stuff like that. I like the reason why I like new WoW compared to old WoW is the animations and the snappiness of everything it looks really cool. Uh, and then Final Fantasy 14, when I'm doing shit, I look cool. Even my basic attacks, I
mhm,
just look fucking cool. Like
mhm.
the ninja basic attacks are fucking awesome as shit. Eh, and then you and then you play a game like no shade to anybody, But like you play a game like Pantheon, you look at that game and you're like, oh, this is the ultimate MMO experience. I'm like, yuck.
They
Like,
just look,
I
yeah,
don't,
I dude,
I don't want to do
I
that.
can't, I can't with Jet with that fucking game, man. He is, I don't know what he wants out of video games sometimes, because it's like I get the appeal, and like Pantheon, I feel like I might actually jump into that game. Like there is an appeal there for me, but it's like he like almost despises the idea of an MMO having production value, you know? It's like, okay, so you want your sword animation to just be the arm swinging, you know, like
I don't want
ugh,
that, man.
you know, and it's like
I want
eh,
everything that he wants in Pantheon because I like the idea of just like a hardcore MMO, and like you have to. There is no dungeon key. You have to go out and actually talk to people. I love all this. If I could get that with the production value of Final Fantasy 14, that would be a match made in heaven. But
yeah,
like, I can't get that. I get the sword. Uh, ooh, and he's he's
yeah,
dead.
right.
Like, I don't know.
And then there's like, there's like descriptive text in the combat window or whatever, and it's like, you know,
Like,
yeah,
what?
I'm very immersed. Very
you
immersive.
you have died. You are poisoned. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That kind of shit. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm so immersed right now. Oh, yes. I'm reading a book while I'm playing my video game. Yes. Very immersive. You know, it's like I just I think the thing for me that immerses me in a game, and this is what I'm talking about with the vibe of Final Fantasy 14, is like it feels like a world that's alive, you know?
yeah,
And I think that's the thing with Pantheon. I need to see more of it and like actually play it myself probably to feel that, because that's something that I think Jet and Brad don't seem to like, they don't seem to care as much about. But MMOs for me are about immersion, you know, like that's what I enjoyed in them. When I was playing World of Warcraft at my height, that shit was about like being a part of that world, you know, and like feeling like you're a part of that world. And the height of that for me was vanilla. And then eventually the game kind of got away from that over time, and eventually it became like a game that's just like a, you know, it's almost like, you know, like the way, you know, Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact is. It's like a game you log into daily and you do your little task list, and you know, it became that kind of game. And that isn't what I'm looking for in an MMO. Like in an MMO, I want an experience, you know, like I want to feel, you know, I want to feel like the world's alive. I want the music to fucking be there, like have high production value. I want there to be a story. I want the quests to be epic, but I also at the same time kind of want what they want too. Like I want the game to be
exactly.
hard. I do want the
Yes,
game to be hard, you know, and I'm not like against that kind of thing. I want the game to be hard. I want there to be like really good difficult group content. I also want there to be like some differences where not everything's instanced, you know, where there's some things out in the world that you go do that people like will fight each other for and stuff. Like I want all that kind of interaction in MMO too. It's just like that game doesn't really exist. And unfortunately for me, like Pantheon right now, first of all, I am still highly skeptical that the game is ever actually going to come out. I think these people that are really into that game are kind of being jerked around at this point. You know, like the fact that there's like a ongoing alpha and Jet can play whatever he wants. That's great. That is progress to me, but it's still the fact that like we're literally over a decade from when this game was first shown and announced or whatever, and here we are in going into 2024, and the release date is nowhere in sight. You know, it's like, I mean, MMOs are hard to make, yes, but no game should take 13, 14 years to make, you know? And that's
yeah,
kind of my issue with that game. So anyways, we got severely sidetracked.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, I'm excited to jump back into it for sure. And yeah, I mean, we don't know the release date yet, but I'm thinking summer sometime for sure, and that'll be fun to jump back into. So all right, let's move on to the next game. This is on my list. I don't know if you care for this one or if you're going to care to try this one. Is Grim Dawn Fangs of Astrakarn, which we don't have a release date for. We just know it's summer. We just know it's 2024. I'm thinking summertime for this one as well. Personally, just based on Crate and the way they were talking about things. But I'm kind of thinking more late summer, potentially like later July or August, possibly for this one. But yeah, man, Grim Dawn is. I mean, I've obviously I've talked about it a lot on this podcast. I fucking love this game. a new expansion for it is so exciting to kind of get back into this game and have an excuse to jump back in and do stuff. And they've been really kind of enhancing this game recently. They just released patch 1.2 like a month ago, and
Hmm.
it added some new mechanics. Like there's an evade now that everybody has by default in the game, which that was not in the game before. So that's there. They added some other features as well to the game. Um, but the thing I'm excited about now with this is actually getting it on my Steam Deck. So this game runs on Steam Deck, and I was messing around with it a little bit, and it actually plays really well. So I'm kind of excited about that aspect to it as well. I could play this game as more of a handheld game rather than like a full on PC game. I could do that too, which I may do. The thing I need to figure out with this one is how to sync my saves up between my PC and the Steam Deck. I do need to figure that out. That might be a little bit of a pain, but yeah, given that it's an ARPG like Diablo, I think it's way better than Diablo personally. And I don't know, Montreal, do you have any interest in jumping into this one?
No, I think I'm done with ARPGs. I don't think they're ever going to capture my spark that I had from back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and nothing against Grim Dawn. I just think Diablo 4 really killed my. I thought Diablo 4 was going to respark it, and it just. And I know the Grim Dawn is not built the same way as far as story wise. It has campaigns, and it's not a continuous MMO. But I don't know, man. I just if ARPGs just all go that route, I don't know, man. I don't like it.
Well, I don't know. I need to show you this game sometime. Like more. I mean, I guess you have played it. Like
Yeah, I
you
have
own
it.
it, right?
I have it. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to go over some things with you with it a little bit more because this game is. I mean, it's a fully single player offline game. Like, there's no online aspects or anything like that. So it it's. I think the problem with it for you is that you were talking about those flashy animations, right? This game is not that. This is Pantheon in ARPG form.
Yeah.
Where everything looks kind of lame and the music's okay, but it's mostly atmospheric and the story is actually pretty good. It's definitely intriguing, but that's not the part of the game that's like going to pull you in necessarily. The game, why the game is so good, is the character customization element of the game and the itemization. It's like
Yeah.
building your character that is so fucking rewarding. It's like unbelievable. So that's the only thing I will say. I almost am somewhat disappointed by the fact that they're making another expansion for Grim Dawn rather than just making a Grim Dawn 2 and like making a game that kind of maybe plays a little bit more like Diablo, but has all those elements from Grim Dawn that I love. Um, that's the only thing I'll say that is a little disappointing, but I'm not that upset about it. Like, dude, I don't know. I love Grim Dawn, so I'm all here for this one. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. We both have this one. Is Metaphor Refantasio, which is coming from Atlas. Some members of formerly of the Persona team making this game, and this game has been in development for a long time now. Like I think it was first announced in like 2016 or something like that.
Hmm.
And it's listed as a Q3, Q4 release. So I guess that's the first question with this one. Do we really think this is coming out in 2024?
I don't think so at all. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Uh, well, you know what? I take that back. I think that is coming. I think it is coming out. I think it is coming out, but maybe on Q4. I don't think it's gonna come out to Q3.
Yeah, you
Q3 is
thinking like
summertime, right?
in
That's
November?
yeah. I'm thinking November they may release this. I'm trying to think when Persona 5 came out. Persona
It
5
was
came out.
early in the year. It was March.
It was March. All right, never
And
mind.
then Royal came out in January, I want to say.
Yeah, and that's normally the times they release their Persona games. So this is a really weird time for them, in my opinion. Um, like
I don't think they want to
JRPGs,
release in November either, dude. That's usually a pretty packed month,
yeah,
you know.
JRPGs usually release. I mean, we can tell by the beginning of the year, they usually release like quarter 1 or 2, or quarter
Yeah,
2 or 3, uh,
generally.
or not 3, but yeah,
Usually
quarter 2.
before September. It's
Yeah,
sometime before September, the 8 months
yeah.
before September. It's
I
usually
can
in there.
definitely see them if they don't meet the Q3 deadline. They're gonna wait to Q1 or Q2 of next year
Yeah,
of 2025.
I could see that. I can see that for sure. I
'Cause I
mean, what
don't.
about the game though? Like, are you
Oh,
excited about it?
I'm more excited about this game than Persona 3 Reloaded.
Yeah.
This game looks fucking dope as fuck. I can't wait to play it. Actually,
Yeah, I kind of agree. I haven't really looked too deeply into it. But what I have seen is very intriguing. The world that this game takes place in just seems very interesting.
yeah, man. I
Um,
don't know. The combat looks really cool. Even though it's turn based, the way you initiate combat is really cool.
mhm.
Uh, I really like the menus. I mean, I know that's something stupid to say, but like, I really like the menu animations, and I just like the whole
It's all
feel of the
part of a
game.
game, dude. You know,
Yeah,
like you gotta like the UI too.
yeah. I really like I just like everything so far. Everything they showed, I was just like, I'm glad they're going away from the Persona thing and they're doing like a new world type deal. So, um, yeah, I can't wait to fucking play it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this one's looking really interesting. I'm certainly fascinated by it, but um,
Oh, and I
and
know
who
people are gonna say like, "We'll play SMT," and I'm just like, I Shimigami Tensei never really resonated with me. It's always been in my opinion, like the shittier Persona. So I
well,
never
it's like
played it.
Persona with no story,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, and I heard Shin Megami Tensei 5 though is like really good, so I may
I
give.
have it. I still have it. That was one of the games I never got around to that fucking game, and it's still over there, dude. And it pisses me off every time I look at that box. I'm like, fuck, I gotta play this game, you know?
Yeah, and I heard that one
Um,
compared to the older ones is like really good.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I tried the Shin Megami Tensei. I can't remember if it was Shin Megami Tensei 1 or 2 or 3, which had Dante in it. You can play or you fight
Mm,
Dante in that one. Um,
interesting.
but yeah, I played it up to that point because it was actually a really tough game for me because I just really didn't understand it at the time, and I
Hmm.
really wasn't trying to when I was playing it when it first came out. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of dropped that franchise, but this looks really cool. Metaphor looks really fucking cool. So,
Hmm.
um, I can't wait to play it.
Cool, cool. All right, moving on. Next one is this is probably mostly me. Is Mina the Hollower? I'm pretty sure I've talked about this game. I think I talked about this game last year too, because it was slated for a December release. We haven't heard anything, so clearly isn't coming out this year. Who knows when it will come out in 2024? But I would imagine it's got to come out this coming year. So, I mean, this is the Zelda kind of Link's Awakening
Oh yeah,
style
yeah.
um game that's coming from Yacht Club, which are this is the team that made the Shovel Knight games, and they're excellent. You know, the Shovel Knight is fucking awesome. So I am fully expecting this game to be really good. We just need to know when it's coming at this point. So and I don't know, you know, they have a Kickstarter which I'm sure they're posting updates on, but I don't have access to it, so there's not much to know there right now. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, this game looks really good. DJ actually played it. I think it was last year. He got to play it, and he sent us some footage of it, and it looked really fucking good to me. So I'm pretty excited about this one personally. But Montreal, any interest for you?
Yeah, I completely forgot about this game. This game was really fucking dope. It reminds me of the
Hmm.
old Zelda games, but with like updated mechanics, which I
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this game myself. I really didn't. I wasn't into Shovel Knight. It's not a bad game, but it just wasn't my game. But this one looks like my game.
Dude, it's so good. It's just a
It is a
Mega
good
Man
game.
game, bro. It's literally just
I'll
Mega Man. It's
I'll
so
just play.
fucking good.
I'll just play Mega Man. Like that's that's how I feel.
Come on. Dude, it's Mega Man with a shovel. Like you don't there's no projectiles. Like you're just fucking it's so good, dude. I love Shovel Knight. I think it's a super fun game. No, everybody if you haven't played Shovel Knight, you've done yourself a disservice in my opinion. Like it's fucking super high quality. And also there's like a million DLCs for it at this point. So great game. But yeah, Mina the Hollower I do expect to follow that same pedigree and be a great game as well. So we'll see when that's coming out this coming year, though. So, and last thing I have listed for games we're fairly certain about is World of Warcraft: The War Within, which should be coming late in the year. I would imagine, like November, October, November period. Um, I'm not super excited about this. Obviously, World of Warcraft retail for me has been mostly a dud. Every time I've tried to play it. However, I have jumped into retail at the worst possible moments. The 2 or 3 times I've tried to do it, which was right before Warlords of Draenor came out, which was probably one of the most hated expansions in World of Warcraft. And then the tail end of Battle for Azeroth going into Shadowlands was the other time I tried to jump into this, and that is all. Shadowlands and Battle for Azeroth are two of the most hated expansions in World of Warcraft history. So I've never really jumped into retail when it's actually been considered good, which
Yeah.
was like Legion or anything like that. So, or currently the Dragonflight, which people are actually pretty happy about. The concept of this expansion, the War Within, which is supposed to be like kind of a 3 expansion story arc that they're going to be doing, but this first one is going to be taking place underneath Azeroth in the underground, and that just setting is piquing my interest. Certainly, I think that you can have some really fucking cool environments in an underground setting. In Lord of the Rings Online, for instance, I only ever played that through the first expansion, but the first expansion was Moria. And dude, that was one of the coolest areas I have ever played in an MMO. Moria, like the dwarven, kind of like the dwarven ruins of Moria, where the Balrog is in Lord of the Rings. Like, dude, it was so fucking awesome to like run around and do quests in there. And there's orcs and goblins everywhere and trolls and shit. It's just like it was such a cool fucking place. So take that and put it in Warcraft and kind of do this similar thing in the Warcraft universe. I do find it an appealing setting personally. So given the positive stuff I've heard from Dragonflight, I'm not interested in jumping into Dragonflight myself, but might be a time to give retail another shot is the War Within later in 2024. And also, I do have to say, Blizzard, the way Blizzard's talking about this expansion and World of Warcraft going forward, it really sounds like they are starting to finally turn a corner with their design philosophy, where they're really going to start changing the way World of Warcraft operates going forward. Like they're going to
So
actually try
so
to make the game fun and like do what
okay.
the fans want them to
I was
do.
gonna say
You
like
know,
what is that direction that what direction do you
just
think it should
stop
go
the
in?
bullshit that they make you do. You know how I was talking about earlier, where it's like, it's like a daily game where you log in and you do your little task list and you log out. Like some of that might be going away. Like they're finally gonna like turn away from that kind of design, maybe. And I don't know specifically what their plans are, but they were talking about that kind of thing. Is they've been doing this? They've been making the game the same way for like 10 to 12 years now, and even longer than that, actually, like going back to like 2010 or 2009. And they're like they finally admitted that they've been stuck in this old design philosophy that they kind of inherited from the original design team, and they're like, we need to, like, we kind of need to move on from that. We feel like they're starting to feel like they need to like freshen the game up. So I'm excited about what I'm hearing there. Given that plus the setting, I might be willing to jump back into this game and give it a shot. And I know Andy will be fucking over the moon, hearing that. And that's, I think that's the other aspect, is I know I have somebody in Andy and then Elias too, who will play with me if I decide to play this game. So um, that's another element to why I might be a little interested. But and what about you? Because you were telling Andy, you gaslit him, man. Like you told him you were gonna play World of Warcraft after
Yeah, yeah,
Thanksgiving,
yeah.
and you never even installed it. It's just like, man, he still
Yeah,
brings that up.
I apologize. It was just I wasn't expecting December to be so busy. So
Oh,
that was my fault. So December was like
yeah.
really busy for me. This was actually like my first week off in like maybe 6 or
Mhm.
7 months. So uh yeah.
Well, okay, but what about Dragon? Or what about War Within? Any interest for you?
uh so hearing you talk about it, I have interest, but I wasn't interested in it because I don't like when Blizzard does 3-part stories they pre-plan, if that makes any sense. And this sounds so stupid, but they did this with
You're thinking
StarCraft.
about StarCraft 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
they
this is
did
a
this.
different situation, dude. This isn't them splitting one expansion into 3. That's not what it
Okay.
sounds like. I actually kind of like this idea because what they're gonna do is War Within's gonna come out in 2024, and I think the second part will be out in 2025, like a year basically like a year later. And then I
Mhm.
think the third part will be out the year after that. I think that's kind of what their plan is tentatively. So shorter cycles between each expansion, which to me is actually a positive. I think having these 2 to 3 year cycles between each expansion has been really, really damaging to World of Warcraft as a game, because there are periods of time where there's just nothing happening and nothing to look forward to and nothing coming out. Like, they're not, the patch cycle has been really poor at certain points. And Shadowlands was actually one of those periods where it was really, really bad. So yeah, to me, I think it's I kind of find that appealing also. Is I don't know. Like, World of Warcraft's not the kind of game anymore. Like, if I'm gonna jump into it, it's not something I'm gonna be long term invested in, you know? Like, I'm not gonna play it for a year straight. It's like I'll probably dip in for 2 to 3 months and then dip out, and when the next expansion comes out, dip back into it. And since that's a shorter window, or shorter gap between those, it'll be easier for me to like justify jumping back in. When you haven't played a game for a couple of years, we're seeing this with Final Fantasy, right? At 14 is like, when you haven't played a game for a couple of years, jumping back into it is such a mental hurdle you have to get over, because you're like, oh, I got to relearn all the controls again, and what was I even doing, and what's going on in the story, and what did they do to my class, that kind of thing. It's like, when it's a shorter window, like period of time between releases, there's less of that you have to worry about. So,
Yeah.
um, and also with a new expansion comes the idea that like everybody's learning new shit. It's not just you. It's like everyone's on that same path. So, I think that's a positive as well. Um, so I don't know. Might be some interest there. I'm not saying I'm guaranteed to jump back into it. I'm not gonna sit here like I'm not gonna get on and tell Andy like, oh yeah, bro, I'm totally gonna play War Within. I'm gonna tell him like it's a maybe. It's a hard maybe for me right now. I need to see more, before I really would commit to it. But certainly interested. Okay, so this next part is so the remainder of what we're going to talk about here are mostly games that are really questionable that we're not sure about. I would wager that majority of what we're about to talk about are games that probably aren't going to come out in 2024. But the first one though I want to bring up, so I have them like listed by like Sony, Microsoft, and then third party, is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which Microsoft did put the year 2024 on this latest trailer from the Game Awards. So, um, given that, it should come out this next year. Montrell, do you think it will?
No.
I don't
Uh,
either. I honestly don't either.
I, I don't think it's too much pressure on the game. Um, and maybe it just needs to come out.
It
People are
absolutely
already
needed to come
putting
out yesterday, dude. Like,
yeah, people are
this is
already putting like Starfield pressure on it.
that's insane. There's
Um,
no way Ninja Theory can manage that, dude.
I think it's becoming very unhealthy. As much as I say Xbox needs games, this is going to be very toxic if this game doesn't live up to whatever hype. Because the first game was incredibly short, um, but it was a good short game. I don't know what
But it
people
was a
are
game that
expect
had no expectations, though.
exactly, and I don't know what people are expecting from this game.
I think they're
Um,
expecting a Naughty Dog level jump, which I
I,
think is completely insane.
yeah, I just don't think that's possible, man. Like, don't get me wrong, Ninja Theory can tell really good stories. They're really good storytellers as well as really good combat ingenuity. Uh, the studio,
Mhm.
I just don't. I'm very afraid. I just don't want it to be another Starfield. Even though Starfield, I mean, we saw the charts; it's selling really well. Um, I just don't want it to be a victim of of expectation or hype. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know how interested I really am in this game because I still haven't played the first one even. But I put it on here as almost like a point of intrigue, like I'm really intrigued about this game just from a following it standpoint, how it does and when it releases and how well it is received and how well it sells. Um because I just think there's this like underbelly of hype that has built for it that is unreasonable. I think, and I think the other thing is there's some red flags here with the way they've shown the game. They just have not shown very much gameplay up to this point which is surprising for a game that we've been seeing for like 3 years, pretty consistently. So I don't know. I'm a little wary, I guess, of this one. So um I feel like it has to come out this year. I don't really like if you made me bet money on it, like which way I thought it would go. I feel like I put my money on yes, it will release in 2024, but man, I would not be feeling good about that bet, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be sweating. I'd be sweating the entire year on that one. So I don't know, man. But I feel like it has to come out. Like we were talking about this last week. Like Microsoft needs games. They need these games to come out. It's like we keep talking about this game, fucking Fable, and whatever. The fucking Avowed. That's
Yeah.
another one that's coming out in 2024. Like you got to shit or get off the pot, man. At some point.
So a greater comparison for Hellblade is God of War, in my
hmm
opinion. The
hmm
combat is of that. The game
But
was
even
shorter
hitting
though.
that level is
That's
just
and that's what I'm saying. And I think what they're doing right now is so you really didn't have a lot of combat options. It was mainly it was an action game, but you had a lot of fucking puzzle elements inside the game as well. On top of the puzzle elements, you had like hallucinations and everything because she was suffering through a lot of PTSD and everything of that
hmm
nature. So
yeah.
you had all these elements that made this short experience really good from like Ninja Theory, and I think they're trying to really expand upon that, which I really want them to. Um, and I can see the potential. And I can already tell you like a couple of things. I mean, they can make the combat way more flashier. It was already pretty good in my opinion, but they can do it way more flashier if they want to because Ninja Theory has that track record of like really good combat and like I said, really good stories or whatever the case may be. And actually, in platforming, this game really doesn't have platform as puzzles, like I said. So I can see Ninja Theory Microsoft giving them a blank check and they're like, go. Do what you want to fucking do. We will
Yeah.
support you 100%. So the problem is that I don't have with this game is I know this game's going to be good. I just don't think other people I don't I don't know if it's going to live up to hype to I don't know what people are going to expect. That's just my
Mhm.
thing, man.
Mhm.
I don't think enough people played the first game. I think they just going off of like what they heard and then they're
Yeah.
going from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we heard that in Ninja or Hellblade was good or whatever the case may be. But I don't think they actually played Hellblade, which is interesting. I think Hellblade suffering from like the YouTube syndrome. People experience this game through YouTube and through
Mhm.
content creators, and um, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna suffer for that. Like I feel like this. Oh, man, I just feel really bad for Ninja Theory, man. They can't catch a fucking break, man.
Yeah.
And they are like a really talented studio.
Yep. I feel you. Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on that one throughout the year. All right, so this next one, I feel pretty good that it's coming to 2024 is Stellar Blade. Because first of all, it's supposed to come this year. It actually just got delayed the day of recording. Like they did an official, I guess, press release saying it was delayed to 2024, which is weird on the 28th of December to to say that. But whatever, it's been officially delayed. But Sony listed it though in a blog post of anticipated games for 2024 this today too as well. So I would say it's fairly likely that it's coming next year. It's just not, what point in the year is it going to come? But so yeah, this game though, this was one of the ones you're skeptical on. I don't know because if it's a real game, I'm excited about what it is or what it's supposed to be.
It's definitely like a Bayonetta slash near Automata type game,
Mhm.
which I love those type of games. Um, and I think it's gonna be if it does come out, I think it'll be a really cool and good looking game. The problem is I've never heard of Shift Up before.
This is their
Uh,
first game.
this
Well,
is their
first
first
console game.
this is their first console game. Um, and we have another game that's coming out as well. Um, not from them. Oh, okay. You know what? I may take this back. So these are the guys that made Goddess of Victor Nikia or Nikkei, which was the the anime shooter with the on the cell phone, the gotcha game with the
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah. That okay.
So I
Okay.
may take this back. They may have got a lot of money from that
Okay.
game,
Okay.
and
That shit was pretty legit too.
Yeah, that was a pretty legit game. So I
Yeah.
may take this back. I'm going to ride it back now a little bit. But I don't know. It came out. This game was shown around the time like Phantom Blade. I think that game was shown as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, man. Like, oh, and also the day before was shown. All these games were shown roughly around the
Oh,
same time.
I'm thinking of the wrong game. Oh, this is that game. Oh
Yeah,
no. Oh no, the booby game. Oh
yeah.
man, the booby gun game. Oh man. All right.
It made a shit ton of money because people were posting their
Jesus.
gameplay
Oh
thing and
god.
everything.
I thought this was like a 3D. I've seen some mobile gotchas that were like 3D action games that actually look pretty decent.
No,
Um,
no, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I'm
Not
forgetting the name of it.
not Honkai Star Rail, but it's called Honkai Third Impact or
No,
Honkai
no, no,
Impact.
no, not that one either. It's one that Sunny Legend puts videos out on every once
Oh,
in a
is it
while.
Punishing Raven? That's the one he puts
That's
out.
the one, yes, and
Yeah.
that's a mobile game. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure. So okay, yeah. Well, so
Uh,
they've made a game though. They've made a game that's like real and is actually a video game that's released that people have played. So
yeah, yeah. So
they're
that's
a
why I
real
take it back.
studio.
Yeah, they're a real studio,
Yeah,
and they probably made a lot of money off that game.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I don't know, man. I take that one back. I'm just really skeptical of games now, like from these like really weird newer
Out of nowhere, like
studios.
Eastern Studios, first or second
Yeah,
game. Yeah,
and
no,
they come out with their
I'm with
games
you.
looking like fucking super high quality, and it's like, no, these are not real games, bro. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
who do you think we are? So, I don't know. Like for this one, and this is like another one of my anticipated games, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's not coming out this year. Was Phantom Blade Zero?
Yeah.
Uh, it's supposed to be a prequel, I believe, to their mobile game called Phantom Blade. And there
Mhm.
is a mobile game called Phantom Blade, but it fucking sucks. It looks terrible. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how they got money for it or like the funding for it because I can tell you right now, it's definitely not from this fucking game. So I don't know, man. Like that's why I'm just skeptical of this game. I'm pretty sure it still will come out, but um, I think it's going to be a Wukong situation. It's probably going to come out like another 2 years from now.
Mhm.
That's what I think personally.
Okay.
Because like Lost Souls aside, right? That game has been in development for 13 years.
Jesus,
That game
that's crazy.
was supposed to come out when Final Fantasy 15 was announced, and then the creators started working on that game
Wow,
because he saw Final Fantasy 15 get announced.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's insane. Well, yeah. So for Stellar Blade, though, for me, I mean, it just from what we've seen of it, like it looks good. You
yeah,
know,
it does. It looks really
it
good.
definitely looks really good. So I don't know. We'll need to see when it comes out, but definitely looks like a good game for sure. All right. Let's move on. We got a few more here. So I put Uncharted question mark because there has been this Uncharted rumor going on for literally like I feel like fucking 6 years. Of some team within Sony's first party making the visual arts team making a fucking Uncharted game. When is this game coming?
It's
When is it
never.
gonna come out?
It's not coming out.
It's probably not. I mean, we don't even know it's real, dude. They had that. There's been a couple slips with this one that have been really funny from PlayStation because there was a live action commercial they did a year ago or so or sometime within the last year where they showed a female character in like the kind of like ancient ruins with like a torch or whatever, and it looked like Nate and Elena's spoilers for Uncharted 4, actually all of Uncharted really, daughter at the end of the fourth game. It looked
Mhm.
like her grown up a little bit, and like they don't just do that. So you don't just do that when there's nothing there. Like there's no game or anything like that. There has to be a game. Like there is a game. Where is this game, Sony? Where is it? Because I just can't
It's not
Like,
coming out until 2026, bro.
dude, how hard is it to make an Uncharted game? They're like 15 hours, if
What do
that.
you what do you mean how hard it is?
Fucking dude, it's
You
not
can't
that
say
long of
that.
a game though. You know, it's like,
But you know the insane details they put into the
dude,
game.
Naughty
You
Dog was pooping these games out in the PS3 era. Like literally every 2 years they were releasing one of these. It's like,
under crunch, and this is a different time now.
you're right. That's true. No, it's
Yeah.
certainly true. But like, if my point is, if my thought that was correct, that this game has been in development for as long as it's been rumored, like it shouldn't take this long for this game to have come out by now. You know,
I
like
don't
you
know.
don't need 5 or 6 years for this.
I think Naughty Dog's in a tricky spot right now, to be honest with
Yeah, but
you.
this isn't Naughty Dog making this though. This game has been rumored to be made by somebody other than Naughty Dog. Like
Oh, okay.
it isn't Naughty Dog making this. Yeah, just to be clear about that. They have a visual arts team that does like support work for a bunch of studios within Sony's first party, and that is the team that has been rumored to have been working on this game out of the Santa Monica offices. So like that's what I'm saying. Where is this game? It's like,
Oh, that makes it even more. I mean, that proves their point even more why it's taking a long time, because this is probably a new team. They're probably
yeah,
not getting
certainly.
this. They're
Definitely is.
probably not used to the engine assets that they're
Or making
accustomed
a
to.
game,
Exactly.
actually
So it
making a
means
game.
it's a whole new experience for them. I mean, and it's like a first party game, so it has to be perfect, So you
It's
don't
got to
want
be
to.
in the next year or two.
Yeah, you don't want a Mass Effect Andromeda situation, because Andromeda was made by the people who made Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, and I love the multiplayer Mass Effect 3. So that's why I had faith in Andromeda. Like I said, the
Yeah.
combat's good in Andromeda, but the game itself is not that good. So that could be a situation they're trying to avoid here. You know,
Okay. Yeah. Let's say it comes out. Are you excited about Uncharted after all this time? I'm
so
actually personally ready for it to come back. I love the Uncharted games. I don't need every game to be super complicated. You know, it's just a
yeah,
third person cover based shooter with light puzzle solving and quippy characters. Like I'm total. It's just an Indiana Jones romp. You beat it in a weekend. I love that. You know, like I love that kind of game. And I'm personally like I'm ready for this to come back. You know, myself, but um, I don't know. Industry's in a different place though.
yeah, it is. Um, I think I am. I can say that. I really want a Tomb Raider game, but I'll just substitute this for my Tomb Raider. Like I really want
Yeah,
a good Tomb Raider game. So
that is fair.
yeah,
All right. Next two games, I'm gonna kind of group them together because they're both from Insomniac. Now we got the leak we talked about with the Insomniac leak that happened with Wolverine and Venom. Wolverine was listed as 2026 and Venom was listed as 2025. So I don't really think there's much to talk about here. It feels pretty definitive that we're not getting anything from Insomniac this year.
yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I don't think they should delay anything. Still should they should just keep pressing forward. Um, but yeah, they're probably going to delay a lot of stuff. So
It's just weird though because they showed when they announced Wolverine, they put a 2024 date on it, didn't they?
did they?
Like
Yeah,
a
they
year.
did.
They
They
put 2024 at the end of the trailer.
yeah, they did.
Which I find interesting that it got pushed back 2 whole years after that, you know? So I don't know. There's not much to say here. I don't think we're getting a game from Insomniac. That feels pretty clear at this point. So, but
This
we'll
does this does shed more light into the game industry, because I think even DJ said this. They have like a whole pre-alpha. The full game is built out already, and now they're just probably doing a lot of post-production stuff. Like a lot of those actual, it probably takes like 2 years, 2 to 3 years max to make the game, and then everything else is like bug fixing.
That's so insane, dude. That you do 2 full years of polishing on a game. That's fucking crazy, dude. You know?
Hmm.
Games used to be made in that time. You know, it's like it's crazy, man. It's fucking wild, but it is what it is. All right. And then I put from third party is Star Wars Outlaws, which is supposed to be coming out this coming year from Ubisoft.
I'm still not sold on it. I saw gameplay I've actually actively been looking into this game. I'm just still not sold on it. Um, which interesting is I actually looked at the Avatar game because I'm like, you know what? The trailer they show looked really good, but then the game
Mm.
came out and I heard it's actually pretty bad. So
I I've
I'm still
heard
gonna try to play it. I'm
I've
still
heard
gonna try
it's
to play
I've
it.
heard it's middling, I guess.
Yeah, okay, I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but I guess with that IP, it should have probably been higher quality. I mean,
yeah.
I've seen some high praise for it too, though at the same time. So it seems like a kind of a divisive game. But I think the thing about Star Wars Outlaws for me though is that, dude, this is massive entertainment, which is probably Ubisoft's best studio. Like this is the Division studio, um, making this game. So then again, I think Massive made the Avatar game too. Actually, though.
No, no. I think it was the Far Cry team made this game.
Uh, let's see. No, it was made by Massive.
Really? Okay. I thought it
Yeah.
was a Far Cry team.
So given that, does that mean maybe they're not maybe they're capable of making a mediocre game? I mean even the Division games, like we're not super in love with them actually necessarily either. So um but they are a studio though, like their games are quality though, like in terms of the way they feel and just like bugs and stuff like that. They're pretty technically sound, generally speaking. So I would at least expect that. But and what they showed of the gameplay looks weird, with the little pet you have and everything and how that works. I'm not sure what to expect out of this game. And also it being open world, I don't know. Like, does Ubisoft know how to make a game that is an open world?
No.
Like, yeah, it's just like it feels like anybody could just pitch them open world anything, and they're like greenlit.
No. Assassin's Creed is the fucking timeline split moment. If we can go back and stop them from making Assassin's Creed, I I
Sounds
will
like a
go.
nice heist movie, you know? Yeah.
Like that's their canon event is Assassin's Creed,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since then it's just been fucking downhill from there, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm actively trying to think. Besides first person shooters, uh, and besides like Splinter Cell, yeah, man, they haven't really made any
Rayman,
third.
I guess.
I mean, yeah, Rayman
The
too. I forgot.
Rabbids
Yeah,
games.
yeah, the
Mario
Rabbids
Rabbids.
games. So they dibble and dabbled.
I guess the Prince of Persia games too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I give you that one. I can give you that one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's just
recently in the last 10 years though,
yeah, no, for sure. The vast majority of their games have been open world. Like they're out of
I
control,
think
dude.
Chaos Theory was the last game. I think that came out in 2013. Didn't Chaos? No, I don't think Chaos Theory came out in 2013. Let me see. I think that was the last Splinter Cell game. Either Chaos Theory or like Black
Did
Sail or
they
something like that.
publish For Honor too?
They did. They did do For Honor. I forgot about that game. Yep.
Yeah. That game's still
Okay.
floating
Yeah,
around out there.
yeah, that game's and people were still playing that game.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see if it even comes out next year. I'm not even sure about that necessarily, but I don't know. Ubisoft's usually pretty good about hitting their dates though. They're not a company that does a ton of delays, so all right. Montrell, moving on to the biggest game on this list is Pal Worlds, supposedly coming out next year.
Yeah,
You excited about this one? This is the Pokemon with guns game.
this will look like a fun game to stream, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait for this game to come out.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
immediately see this game getting hit with a cease and desist from Nintendo.
Yeah, once it's out and we see all the monsters, what they look like, which ones did they copy from Pokemon?
I just
Because
think they copied the art style, but they necessarily didn't copy the Pokemon themselves.
yeah, I know. But if there's a diverse roster of monsters, who knows? Maybe one artist got a little lazy, in their design process.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, who knows, man? That's It's funny. I don't know. I put it on here as a little bit of a joke because we when we talked about it originally, I think both of us were kind of like, "Oh, this looks kind of cool," and it's like, we're probably not gonna play it, but I'm intrigued by it. I want to see it. I want to see it when it's out for sure. I'm very intrigued by it. But Montreal, I was kidding though. The most important game on this list is the last one that I have, which is Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. Are you ready for the missing link to be found?
I can't believe I'm actually looking forward to this game.
No,
I'm
you're
not.
not. No, no,
The
no.
gameplay looks good,
No,
bro.
dude, no. Oh my god, no. They got you. They got him, man. They got you.
The gameplay looks good. You can't tell me the gameplay doesn't look
They
good.
got you,
It
bro.
looks like a Kingdom Hearts
And why
game.
do you know the other reason they're called gotcha games? Because they gotcha. They gotcha, Montreal.
Have you looked at the gameplay for it?
I have. I don't care. It's a fucking gotcha game, man. I don't give a shit. I don't want to play this. Like,
I don't know, man. It looks.
don't do this to yourself. Do not do this to yourself. Don't play this fucking game. Watch videos of it just so you can absorb the fucking 10 seconds of story that's important. I'm telling you, don't play this.
It looks so good, though. It does look really good, man. It looks good.
Dude, did they come to your house or something? Like the fucking the people on YouTube? Like, did they hear the last time we talked about this game and they were like, we got to get that Montreal guy. We got to convert him.
No, I actually went dark on it. And then I saw that there was a beta. I didn't play the beta, unfortunately. But I watched gameplay footage of the beta, and I was actually thoroughly surprised at how good the game looks. And I was like, wow, this actually looks like a game they tried on. But then this is where they lose me, right? As soon as the combat ends, you get all these little fucking collectibles like you do in gotcha games, and I'm like, oh, that's where it's at. That's you can buy characters and you
endlessly
can
grind your characters and level them up and stuff.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like you're actually controlling the character. I'm not too sure. It looks like you're just pressing A or B or whatever the case may be. So I'm not sure. I want to play the game to see how it actually plays, but I don't know yet, man.
Bro, the missing link is no longer missing.
What was the missing link?
I don't fucking. They're gonna tell us in this game, right?
Was it the time period between?
I don't know, dude.
What was that game?
Time period between fucking
Union Cross, right?
Ass cheeks, dude. Like that's what the missing link is. I don't care. Kingdom Hearts, like, is enough. I just give me Kingdom Hearts 4, okay? So I can be upset about that game, Like just give me that game, release that. Like, Montreal, how far do you think that game is out? Like, how far out do you think we are from that? 2026? 2025? No.
Bro,
no
I think Nomura is pouring all his time into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh my god, no way.
He has no time for Kingdom Hearts, bro.
There's no fucking shot, man.
It's Kingdom. What did you expect? It's fucking Kingdom Hearts. What do you expect?
Oh my god.
You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised. I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna say 2032.
No, shut up! Oh my god, you're just being an asshole now, dude. There's no way, dude. I mean, I guess there was a 13-year gap though between 2 and 3, so that sounds right. That would be 13 years between 3 and 4,
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
I mean, okay, if that's the case though, how many more Kingdom Hearts games do we get before we both die?
We have 3? We have a mobile game now that actually look decent.
Like do you think we're going to get to 52 more years on the earth, both of us? Like, you think we'll play 4 more Kingdom Hearts games like before we die?
Oh, bro,
only 3.
First of all, this is a Disney franchise, so it may go on forever. Oh my god, it may go on forever if they actually make a fucking Kingdom Hearts ride.
Just kill it, please. Just kill it.
It's not, if they make a Kingdom Hearts ride or some kind of Kingdom Hearts theme inside a theme park, it's over. That franchise is never going anywhere.
I need to play these games again to recapture my like joy around Kingdom Hearts because it's just not there. I feel nothing. Like I feel empty. Talking about missing link, like dude, I really do. Like I just feel like a husk. Like my soul has been ripped out. I need to go. I need to go play the series again because yeah, it's just I'm so jaded at this point. Like it's bad. But missing link isn't it? That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for. You know what? I will say the interesting thing about Kingdom Hearts though is it is kind of weird that the side games have mostly dried up. You know, because there was like the rhythm game on Switch that came out a year or two ago. There's this game, and then other than that, I mean, there's really nothing, right?
Yeah, you're right. But to be honest with you, right? Well, there's no to be honest. I don't know where it came from. Why were there so many side games?
I don't know.
Was it because people just really wanted Kingdom Hearts?
Nomura convinced somebody at Square that they needed to make as many Kingdom Hearts games as humanly possible, dude. Like,
I don't think that's
um,
it. I think you know what I think now after all these years, I think they still didn't believe in the IP and they just kept getting small budgets for
or
these
maybe it
games.
was um maybe it was just a content thing. Because if you remember, those games were split between all these platforms, right? Like Birth by Sleep was PSP exclusive. Then you had like Dream Drop, that was 3DS exclusive, and you had Chain of Memories was a GBA exclusive, and then you had fucking 365 over two over whatever 1/4 fucking whatever that was on the DS. um, and then so those were all like exclusive. Like, do you think it was maybe like an agreement they had with Sony and Nintendo that they would get games on these platforms from Kingdom Hearts? Like, it's possible it was contractual in some way. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I actually want to know how much like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 sold. I want to know how much Kingdom Hearts 1 sold.
I mean, we can look that up. Kingdom Hearts lifetime sales. The whole franchise has shipped 36 million copies.
Okay,
Let's
that's not
see.
bad.
And then according to VG charts, which I don't know how reliable this necessarily is, but Kingdom Hearts 6.3 million, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories 1.6 million, Kingdom Hearts 2 5.2 million, 358 over 2 days 1.7 million, Birth by Sleep 1.7 million, Dream Drop Distance 1.3 million, 1.5 remix 1.6 million, 2.5 remix 1.2 million. Is this why they keep re-releasing everything? Because they're just trying to get like quick rips. 2.8 final chapter prologue 1.3 million. Are you kidding me? Holy shit, that's crazy for like a 2-hour experience. Jesus Christ, god damn. And then 1.5, 2.5 remix, 1.8 million. What the fuck, dude? And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is 6.7 million. It's actually the
Yeah,
highest in the
yeah,
franchise. So
yeah. I was expecting that to be the highest in the franchise. So yeah, and then now you got this fucking mobile game coming out. Oh man,
these
this is
numbers are low though. They're a lot lower than I was expecting.
this is about what I was expecting. I think this is really good for like a non-multiplayer
I
game.
guess you're right for a Japanese franchise. Actually, like that is actually really strong numbers.
It's
Now that I'm thinking about it,
consistently hitting the
like it's
million.
comparable to Final Fantasy. I
Yeah,
think. I think. Let me go look. Let me back that up. Lifetime sales. Let's see. Yeah, Final Fantasy has a lot more games though. Final Fantasy has sold 180 million units worldwide.
yeah, but
This
like,
point.
what about the last 6 titles?
Final Fantasy. So yeah, last 6 titles like Final Fantasy 16, 3 million according to VG charts, which I think that number is higher now.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 remake 7 million. That's really strong. Final Fantasy 15 Montreal. I'm gonna kill myself. 10 million, 10
10
plus
million?
million
Are you
copies.
fucking kidding me?
Fucking kill me now, dude. Um, Final Fantasy 14 online. This can't be the
I
right
mean,
number.
no, that
1.45
I don't
million. That
I
that
don't count
that's
that.
not
I don't count
that's
that.
not
No,
that's
that's an
not real.
ongoing game. Yeah, I
That's
don't
a
count
fake
that game.
number. Final Fantasy 13 and 13 2, 7.7 million and 3.3 million
Wow.
respectively. 12, 7.71 million. 11, forget that one.
Yeah.
X and X2, 20.8 million. Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Are you serious?
God damn, dude. That's crazy.
I didn't know
9. Yeah.
do they count the remakes in that one?
I assume it does, probably,
Okay.
maybe. It doesn't say that though. They're not explicitly cut out here. 9 is 5.83 million, 8 is 9.6 million, 7 is 14.1 million, predictably. That would be one of the higher ones. 6 is 3.8, 5 is 2.88, 4 is 3.49, 3 is
Never
3.86, which
mind.
that's really
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. So
2 is 1.37, and the first one is 2.13. So
yeah, to be a small franchise like Kingdom Hearts and it's consistently pulling over 1 million, I think that's really good.
well,
Um,
I
Other
think the
JRPGs
over
will,
5 million for the mainline games is really strong. That is certainly comparable to Final Fantasy, I think.
yeah,
Um Definitely. Like 7 and 10 are outliers, like those are outliers. Those hit stronger than most Final Fantasy games do. The rest of these are all in the 5 to 10 million range, it seems like, which is right around where Kingdom Hearts is too. 15 being at 10 plus million is an absolute fucking travesty. That's crazy, dude. It's fucking nuts. So yeah, I mean, Kingdom Hearts is pretty strong, but all right. Well, Montreal, that's all we had listed. We actually got through this a lot quicker than we thought we would.
yeah.
Usually this episode's like 3.5 hours, so I think we did pretty well this year. Are there any games we didn't mention that you want to talk about before we go?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, then let's wrap it up. All right, everybody. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thundernut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that'll be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you all have a good New Year holiday. And we will see you next week. Bye.